Yo, 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 what's up? It's your boy, Richard Pis, a.k.a. Ricky G, and today I'm bringing you a legend, the one and only, the real Rick Ross. Thank you, my brother. Thank you
Thank you.
for joining me today. I wanted,
Glad you have me here.
yeah, I want to ask you a question, man. What was the turning point that made you realize that the game wasn't worth it anymore?
Wow. Well, I've been contemplating quitting for some years, but you keep saying, every time you get ready to quit, one more, and you also saying, if I don't do it, somebody else will, So it took that. Another one of my customers' kids, looking at me, real crazy. He was a baby, about 9, 10 years old, and he was looking at me with a look in his eyes, like, damn, man, you're taking all the money out the house. Another one of my friends got busted, and I did everything I could, and he still got 20 years. So all those things combined convinced me that the time had ran out.
I understand, and I have many friends that are in the pen right now. A couple of mine are serving a couple life sentences in Coleman Correction. So I understand. I ask them the same question, and I get pretty much the same answer.
I remember when they was building Coleman. I was in there when everybody was talking about all the Miami guys. Talking, we going home.
Yeah, they ain't going home.
Well,
He's
they
written
consider
books.
they consider Coleman home. Like,
Yeah.
like at least you can get visits.
Yeah, you can get visits.
You on the West Coast, you at Lime Park. You figure if they had to fly into California, they fly into LAX, then they got to drive 3 hours to get to Lime Park. It's like ain't nobody gonna come see you.
Ain't nobody come.
They make it hard for your family to come see you.
I understand. So my second question is, how did you build such a powerful network without even knowing how to read at first?
Well, to build networks, you don't really have to know how to read. You just have to have people that love you, to believe in you. And I build up that trust in them, and I let them know. When people know that you got their best interests at heart, they have this special kind of feeling for you. Because, most people don't really have nobody's best interest but their own.
But they all.
They're only thinking about themselves, and I always try to think about the crew. How is the crew gonna make out? Are they gonna be okay? And then if they okay, then I'm gonna be okay.
That's what made you successful. Because people don't think like that. The greed sometimes and the money and stuff really get to you, and that's where the paranoia comes in, and you start making emotional thinking.
Yeah.
You start doing the emotional thinking.
They take all the money and spend on themselves. Buy they get the cars, they get the jewelry, they get all the clothes, and then the workers who are doing all the work, in my personal opinion, don't get nothing.
Don't get nothing.
But I believe the workers eat first. It's like you fighting a war. You feed the frontline soldiers first.
Yeah.
The general, he's sitting back, in the tent.
He chilling.
Calling orders, what I'm saying? He don't need nothing to eat. Let him go hungry for a little while.
Now, do you feel like the system failed you, or did it make you?
Did the system make me or fail me? I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
Because you're successful after you've been really successful after you gotten out of prison. I mean, you were successful before you went to prison.
In the game, yeah. Wow. I mean, so many people could be held accountable, for me not being able to read and write. Teachers, my mom, the principal at the school. So it's hard to say who failed, but something went wrong. Somewhere down the line, something went wrong. And I don't think that our schools, schools are doing what they're supposed to do, but we have teachers in there who are not really concerned with if the kids learn or not. They're more concerned with
The paycheck.
when I'm gonna get my check.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I was one of those kids that my teacher used to look at me because I used to doodle. I was an artist. And I used to doodle in class all the time, and I always liked to make people laugh and stuff. So I was one of those students that the teacher would look down on me and say, "You ain't gonna be shit. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna be pumping somebody's gas, or you're gonna." And then later on in life, it wasn't the good way, but I still made more money than them.
yeah.
What's one lesson from the drug game that still helps you in the legit life you live today?
Well, if you can be successful selling drugs, you can be successful at anything, because when you're running a drug empire, you're doing so many different jobs. You're managing, you accounting, you distributing, you just having so many hats. And if you can take those same skills and use them for another trade, you're going to win.
Yeah, like put it to your product and stuff. You might be selling shoes, but you take it the same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to. I mean, all businesses should be approached. I mean, business is business, pretty much. It's just a product and a commodity. The difference with drugs is that it's a product of habit.
Right.
They got to have it. So it makes it a little easier. But it's no different than selling tennis shoes or shirts or.
Well, I feel tennis shoes, you got to have it too sometimes.
Oh, no question. Because tennis shoes.
I'm a big shoe guy, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I sold T-shirts, like I said, hair, and I was successful with all of them.
Yeah, because of what you put into the network, everything that you learned from the drug business, you put it into that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. People was telling me when my book came out, man, you can't sell that book like you sell drugs. And I said, oh, yeah, we're going to see.
Watch me. Man, that's great. And if you could sit down with a 19-year-old version of yourself, what would you say to that person?
I would tell him to take his time. The race is not won from the beginning, but it's won in the end. You got to finish the race, and you're great. You can do anything that you want to do, and you're just as good as anybody else.
I was listening to you earlier when you were speaking to us, and we were having a conversation with you. And it was amazing what transpired in some of the stuff that you said. It transpired in my brain. And it was like, even through all the negativity you've gone through and everything that you had to overcome, you never let that will deplete you.
No.
You always overcame whatever anybody said to you, or any, like you said, the prosecutor, they threw away the key.
Mm-hmm.
And you taught yourself how to read, you read many books, and then you went out there and used those books to get you right back out.
Absolutely, and still doing that. So yeah, but words don't really bother me anyway. People gonna say whatever they say, as long as they don't put their hands on me or physically try to hurt me. I'm good. They can say whatever they want to say. I don't pay what people say any mind, because most people say stuff that they don't even know what they're saying, and then they don't mean what they say, and it's crazy.
I've always heard silence is the best way to move. Like when they start talking about you and all that, it's that you're doing something that they can't do. So they need to drive away that attention somehow. And they talk bad about you, so that attention comes to you. But if you shut it down and you don't speak back, that's why some of these rappers with their beefs and stuff, the ones that stay quiet are the ones that end up winning that battle. The ones that keep going back and forth with the thing, they end up in some really dangerous stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what people say has very little significance in my book because, like we said earlier, they don't do what they say they're gonna do. You know, if they tell you they're gonna do something, they never do it. So why pay it any mind? They just blowing smoke again.
Well, I appreciate your time, man. You're really inspirational, and
I'm
I
glad you
think
had me here today. Man, thank you.
stay dangerous, man.
No doubt. We're gonna do that.
Much love always.